So now we've built the website correctly, right? We've got all of the right pages with the right on-page optimization, good content. We've claimed our map listing and put a really strong strategy in place for getting reviews and for developing our citations. Now what we want to do is build further authority for our website, for our domain, so we can rank better in the organic listings. Because really, once the pages on your website are set up and they're optimized correctly, the critical missing element that's going to determine whether you're on page 1 or page 3 is the authority of your website. And authority, again, is driven by the number of links, the number of citations, and the number of reviews. So you want to put a process in place to get more authority links from other websites back to your website. Because ultimately, he who has the most quality links wins. And I say quality because in the last 6 to 9 months, Google's really changed their algorithm. The algorithm being the formula that they use to determine who's on page 1 versus page 3 versus page 6. And it used to be just about links. Google was built on the notion that he who has the most links is the most authoritative and ultimately should be ranked highest. Well, over the years, people have become very familiar with that concept. And a lot of companies just went out and got links for the sake of getting links because they knew that was going to drive their rankings. So Google changed their algorithm to say, well, if you've just got links that are completely irrelevant, have nothing to do with your company, on a website that really adds no value to the internet, then you must be spamming the system. And if you're spamming the system, we don't want you to rank well in the search engines. So you have to be real careful to make sure the links that you have back to your website are relevant links, are from websites that have something to do with your area, something to do with your industry, or something to do with your services. And so how can you get these links? How can you make sure that you've got quality links that are going to build your authority and help to make sure your company is ranking well? Well, I wanted to pull up a screen. That's just what I call your circle of low-hanging fruit. And low-hanging fruit being the links that you can get that are going to make an impact, but are also relatively easy to get. And so the first links are your online directory listings. And as part of trying to get ranked better on the Google map, you have to develop your citations, which is getting your name, address, and phone number referenced on all the major online directories. Well, as part of that process, you should be adding a link back to your website on those online directories. And so when you go to Yelp and CitySearch and Judy's Book and Best of the Web and Hot Frog and all of those online directories, you can put your name, address, phone number, description of your company, and a link back to your website. Those links, in a lot of cases, drive authority, which are going to help you rank better and have that authority. The second thing you want to do is you want to look at the associations that you're involved in. If you're a plumber, it might be PHCC and QSC. If you're a HVAC company, it might be ACCA. If you're a roofing company, maybe it's the Roofing Association. But look at the associations that you're involved in, because most of them have online websites where they list their members. And those online sites give you the ability to add your company name, address, and phone number, a solid citation, and a link that's referencing your company's website. That link, of course, builds authority. So spend some time, figure out what associations you're involved in, look at their websites, and identify what you need to do in order to get your company a link from that website. From there, you want to look at allied partners. And so allied partners might be if you're a roofing company and you happen to know a plumbing business that's a friend of yours or a colleague of yours or somebody that you refer business back and forth with, they probably have a website. You definitely have a website. And so there's no reason that you couldn't get a link from their website back to your website and vice versa. And this isn't really what I consider to be a link exchange, which is a spammy tactic, because you're allied industries and you're right there in the same exact area. And so this strategy is completely above board. Look at the places where you buy product. So maybe you're a dealer for one of the major manufacturers. Maybe you buy your supplies from a local supply house. A lot of these companies will reference their dealers. And so they have authoritative websites that reference the dealers in certain markets. You can go to those websites and get links pointed back to your website. And I really just want to give you some very specific, actionable strategies for getting these links that are going to build your authority, that are going to make your contracting website rank better for the keywords that you specifically targeted in your SEO on-page optimization process. So some other links that you can get: social media profiles. I'm going to talk more about social media and how you can leverage social media, but for the purposes of link building, if you go out and set up a Facebook page and a Twitter account and a LinkedIn profile and a YouTube channel and all of these other potential social media sites, they all give the ability to put in your company's name, address, phone number, and of course a link back to your website. These are powerful links that will drive more authority for you as an organization. Now, the other thing you can do with links within social media is on a weekly basis, you can put up an update, right? What to do in the event of a roofing emergency, and then link that back to your website. Now, you don't just have one link, you can start to get a series of links from these social media profiles. And you can link deeper in your website. So you're not just linking to the home page. In this case, now you're linking to the emergency page, or you're starting to build the authority to the deeper pages on your website. From there, you also want to look at the local groups that you're involved in. Maybe you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Maybe you're active in some networking group like BNI or some other business card exchange. Most of the time, these organizations have websites that reference their members. Again, go to these websites, make sure that you've got a link to your website from their websites. And then, of course, you want to have a blog. And I'm going to talk a lot about content creation and the notion that content is king on the search engines, but you want to have a blog where you can house the content that you can create and build links back to your website via that. Is this helpful? I mean, does this really help to bring it together for you, having this circle of links that really show you, okay, these are the specific places I know that I can go out and get links back to my website? Absolutely. So let me share a ninja strategy for building links. So we talked about the low-hanging fruit, which are these, but what about the other links? There's got to be other websites online that you can get links from that are going to build your authority. And so a ninja strategy is to do competitive link acquisition. And competitive link acquisition is just the process of looking at your top competitors and getting their links that they have pointed back to your website. Now, there's nothing unethical about this. It's certainly not stealing, because you're going to have to work pretty hard to get those links. But there's a very specific way that you can do this. So how do you get links, and how can you look at what your competitors have going on? Well, there are tools that you can use, like raventools.com or SEO Book or Majestic SEO, which give you the ability to type in your competitor. So who's your competitor? Go to the search engine, run a search for your city plus your service, right? Inevitably, there's a page of guys ranked on page 1, right? And all of those guys on page 1 are competitors for that specific keyword. And you can take their URL, competitor number 1, and plug it into raventools.com or plug it into Majestic SEO, and it will spit out a list of all of their links. And so your number 1 competitor is outranking you, is in that position because he's got right on page optimization, he's got good content, and he's got more authority in terms of link citations and reviews. So this report will tell you what links he has, what citations he has. And you can say, okay, he's got 295 links and citations. Which of these does he have that I don't? And find the ones that he has that you don't, and get those same or similar links pointed back to your website. So you can look at this report and see, okay, well, here he's got a link from a directory that I'm not in. He's got a link from a newspaper in my local area that I don't have. He's got a link from a Chamber of Commerce that I'm in, but I don't have a link from. And then you can go to those websites and do what's necessary, whether it's creating a piece of content via article or video, sending an email, doing a web submission, and getting your site linked to from that specific domain. And as you start to do that on a consistent basis, your authority is going to be significantly greater, which is what's going to make you rank so well in the search engines. So the other critical element of SEO is content creation. The fact is, on the internet, content is king. So you have to be creating relevant content on a consistent basis relative to what you do. I talked about the fact that you must have a blog on your website where you can store all of your content. And a lot of times when I get to this portion in the video, in the conversation, the contractor says, man, I don't create content. I'm not a content creator. I don't like to write. But the reality is you are a subject matter. If you're a roofer, you know information about roofing. If you're a landscaper, you know information about landscaping. If you're a painter, you have information about painting that the average consumer simply does not have and does not know. So maybe you're dealing with a curse of knowledge where you feel everybody knows this information, but they necessarily don't. So take your knowledge, your expertise, and create content about that specific topic. And so maybe the painting contractor, you know that the best way to remove wallpaper is to, cover it with water and then use a special razor blade to remove that. That's content. And what I said probably isn't even true, but you know the right way to do it. So there's a lot of different types of content you can create. You don't have to write. Different people operate better under different modalities. Some people are very good writers, some people are great speakers, and some people are just really good on video. So try and find a modality that's most comfortable for you. Maybe it's video. Set up a video camera and just record yourself explaining that specific topic just like you would to a customer or just like you would to a family member. And now you've got a piece of content that you can syndicate to your website, to your social media profiles, to be the content authority in your market. Well, I hope you got value from that video. If you'd like to get more ideas and insights on how you can really effectively be marketing your contracting or home services business online, I'd like to encourage you to go to contractorseo.net/free. That's contractorseo.net/free. There you can download two things. A video that runs about an hour, I think it runs about an hour and a half, and it's a complete overview of your contracting or home service internet marketing plan. So really, the entire strategy of how you should be marketing your home service business online, covering everything from how to set up your website, how to optimize for the major search engines, how to make sure you're ranking on the Google map, how to leverage social media to its fullest effect to get more repeat and referral business, how you can start to tap into paid online advertising strategies like pay-per-click, pay-per-lead, and online paid directories. So I'm offering that to you completely free of charge. You just need to go to contractorseo.net/free. There you'll get access to the video training as well as a 56-page manual that basically takes the most important information from that guide and really explains to you with screen captures and text how you can implement it in your home services business. So again, just go to contractorseo.net/free and you can download both of those pieces of information completely free of charge.